Hey guys, I'm Riley and today I'm going to be doing the BookTube newbie tag. I have all the questions written down in my bullet journal and I'm going to answer them just so that I can, you know, give a little introduction of myself to BookTube. Question one is, why did you start this channel? And I started this channel because I did a video production class in high school, and so we made like short films and stuff, and ever since then I've been like interested in making videos and possibly posting them on YouTube. So that's why I started the channel, was because of my high school class. Like the reason I'm posting the videos that I'm posting right now are because I really like books and music, which are like the two things that I've actually posted about now, and I just want to share that with the people on YouTube and hopefully have other people see that and be able to share that with me. Second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? My shining personality? I don't know. I have a great personality, some friends will say, and I'm funny, other friends will say. I don't know what I'm gonna bring to the BookTube community, but I'm just happy to be here. So question three is, what are you most excited about for this channel? And I'm excited to be able to hopefully be a part of a community of people who share the same interests as I do and make friends with people who share the same interests as I do, because I don't have a lot of friends right now that are like super into books and like are up to date with like releases and like know who the authors are and like know about all the different books that are coming out and keep up to date with all that stuff. I don't have like a lot of friends who are into that, so I'm kind of just sitting here by myself like super excited about like a new book cover that's just been revealed, and people are like, I don't care, and I'm like, this is fine. So hopefully that's what I'm excited about, to have people who like share the same interests in that, in like the book section of my life, that I can share that with. Question four is, why do you love reading? And I love reading because, well, as I mentioned before, I was in like a video production class, and so I like created my own stories and worlds that way. And I also like to write some things, like I'll come up with like ideas for videos or for like stories, and I like to write those out. And so I enjoy creating worlds of my own through like stories, whether it be in like a video or like a book. And I think that it's cool. Like I just think it's cool that just by the way that somebody says something or like words that people use, you can be transported into a completely different world. And I just find it so fascinating, and I love being able to experience that when I read a new book. And so that's why I love reading, because it's just, I really appreciate, and I am fascinated, and I think it's so cool that like you can do that you can create a whole new world just with words and have somebody like completely understand what you mean and just like be right there with you just by the words that you're using, which I think is just awesome. Question five is, what book series got you into reading? Now I'm just gonna get the most obvious one out of the way, Harry Potter. Love Harry Potter. It's one of my all-time favorite series, and it's one of the first series that like I really loved when I was a kid. So Harry Potter. But I have a lot of series that I remember growing up like being obsessed with, so I'm gonna like run through a couple of one of those. And actually, even though you can see it right here, Percy Jackson is not one of them, because I read those later in my reading career, in my reading path, in my reading journey, and I was already obsessed with reading when I read those. So I don't count them as like a series. I love them as a series, but I don't count them as a series that got me into reading. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of break it up by like middle school, elementary school, and like middle school, because I have like some series that I loved reading in elementary school, and then I have series that like I really remember vividly like being obsessed with in middle school. So in elementary school, the first book series that I can remember like loving and being obsessed with was the Magic Tree House series, with like the brother and the sister who went into like their tree house and then got transported to like different lands. I was obsessed with that. I would check the books out from my school library, and I would check the books out from my local library when my mom would take me. I was obsessed with that series. And Harry Potter was also in elementary school, so that's part of that was loud. That's a part of like the little elementary school like series I was obsessed with. And then Twilight was also one that I was obsessed with. I was so obsessed with those books. I read all of them multiple times, watched the movies, went to the premieres of the movies that I could go to. I loved them so much. And even though I know they're not that good now, looking back, they still have a special place in my heart because they're part of what made me love reading. So what can you do? So those are like the 3 that I can remember in like elementary school being obsessed with. And then in middle school, I like vividly remember reading all of these series. Like I can picture the exact section that they were in that library and like know exactly where they were when I went to that school. So the first series was the like Gone series, if you know what that is. If you don't, I'll pop up like a little picture of the covers right now. I think I've heard people mention it on BookTube, so I think it's pretty popular. I wasn't watching BookTube when I read these, so I think it was popular in like early BookTube when like they first came out. It's like a dystopian novel, but I love them. Okay, yeah, I was obsessed with that series. I love them. I don't think I ever finished them because like they're still releasing books. Like they have like 10 books in that series. It's freaking crazy. So I'm not like caught up with it, but that was like, I was obsessed with like the first couple books that I did read when I read them. I have like 2 more like honorable mentions that like at this point I was probably already like well into loving books, but these were 2 series that I was obsessed with in middle school and like am still obsessed with, and they were the Mysterious Benedict Society and the Pendragon series novels, whatever. Those 2, oh my god, I don't even know what to say. I love them. I love them. That's it. I love them. So just a quick little rundown. That was a lot of books. So Magic Tree House, Harry Potter, Twilight, Gone, Mysterious Benedict Society, and Pendragon novel series, whatever. And those are the series that I think got me into reading. And then I think the question also is supposed to be like series or novels that got you into reading. And so just as far as like novels go, I think the only novels that like I really like, the only ones that I can really remember reading a lot when I was a kid are just like the Nicholas Sparks books that my sister and my mom were reading. So that's it. Nicholas Sparks too, I guess. So that's it for question 5. Question 6 is, what question would you ask your favorite booktuber? That's question 6. I watch a lot of booktubers. That's like the majority of what I watch on YouTube. It's like booktube and then like some like daily vloggers. That's what I watch on YouTube. So, okay, so the question I would ask would be, if you had to read one book for the rest of your life, like if you could only read one more book, that's it for the rest of your life, what would it be? Like it has to be one book only. That is it. You can't read anything else. I think I would ask that question, but I feel like there are some like booktubers who are like so adamant about like what their favorite books are that like I feel like I would know what they would choose. Like Hannah from A Clockwork Reader would probably pick The Night Circus. Haley from Haley in Bookland would pick Alice in Wonderland or The Book Thief, one of those. But that's the question I would ask. So I don't know who I would pick. I feel like it's hard to choose a favorite booktuber. So you know what? I'm gonna ask you, whoever is watching this right now, if there was one book that, if you could only read one book for the rest of your life, what would it be? I want you to answer it because I can't pick a favorite booktuber. So you answer it, comment it down below. Send me a tweet, a DM on Insta. I don't know, let me know. I feel like I would probably choose like a collection of stories so that I wouldn't get bored. So like, I don't know. I don't have one that I could answer right now, so sorry, you're not gonna get an answer from me. But that's not the question, so I don't have to answer. Question 7 is, I feel like this question isn't phrased properly. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I mean, I understand what it's asking. I think the hardest part will be being consistent with like filming, editing, and posting videos. And also, if I'm not like reading a bunch of books, if I'm not reading like 20 books per month, I feel like it's going to be difficult to like see how much other people are accomplishing and then like getting down on myself for not accomplishing that much. So those I think will be the hardest things. And then question 8 is, when did you start reading? I don't know. I like vividly remember when I was like 3 or 4 or whenever it is that like kids learn to read. I can remember sitting in my old house in our front room reading this book about like a blue dog, or like a dog with a blue ball or something like that. Like I can remember reading that, and that's the first time I remember reading. But like the first time that like I actually started reading just for like fun, like going and picking up books for fun, I think would be like 2nd or 3rd grade probably. So like, how old was I? 6 or 7. I was reading books just for fun independently, like going to the library and picking stuff out with my mom, or like getting stuff from my school library. So probably like 6 or 7, I think. Question 9 is, where do you read? And I read in my room. I read a lot of places. I'll read in my car while I'm waiting in line to pick up my sister from school. Oh, I'll read on like campus in between classes, either in the library or just like sitting in class waiting for it to start. I read in the break room at where I work sometimes, but mostly I read in my room, either laying on my bed right there, or I do have a chair in my room that I can sit in and read at. So that's where I read. Mainly it's in my room, but I read like everywhere. So yeah. Question 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? And if you asked me this question like a year ago, I would have been like, YA contemporary, that is it. That is all I read. Which actually even then wouldn't be true, because whatever, doesn't matter. But I feel like it's kind of like leveled out a little bit, where like I'm reading a lot more than just YA contemporary. I've been reading like historical fiction. I've been reading fantasy a lot more. I've read a couple of adult books. I've been known to dabble in dystopian. That was a funny joke, so, you know. Life's crazy, man, you know? I'm like an equal opportunity reader. I will read pretty much anything. So, yeah, I read all genre of books. It's mainly contemporary. I'd still say it's probably like at least half contemporary. But I will read almost anything that you recommend to me. So, recommend me something and I will probably read it if I haven't already. So, that is that. And that is the last question. That is the end of the BookTube newbie challenge. No, it's not a challenge. The BookTube newbie tag. That is the end of my BookTube newbie tag. Hope you liked it. Hope you got to know a little bit more about me and my interests. I do have a Instagram for like my book related things, my bookish related things. So if you want to follow that, that will be linked down below, as well as all of my other social medias, including my Goodreads. Add me on there. I'm always looking for more friends. If you are a part of BookTube and have videos, comment down below. I'm always looking for more channels to watch. So comment below. I'll check out your channel, check out mine, you know. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like me, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.